Hello, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a Beyond the Summit presentation of Sig.Trust versus Warrior Gaming Unity here in the Boston Major Southeast Asian Qualifiers group stage. Here we had a very fast-paced game between TNC and Fnatic, which has been finished ahead of schedule, and we are moving right along to the next one. It should be a pretty interesting matchup between these two teams, which are both technically in contention for the fourth slot of the playoffs. We are going to be looking to see Faceless, Mineski, and Fnatic secure the top three, but TNC, WG, and Sig.Trust are all in contention, and it could be decided by this very game.
So is there any guarantees where if either of these teams win the match, then they're automatically in? I think if WG wins it, they're in, right?
No, because TNC...
Because WG is currently 4-3.
They could tie with TNC, is the situation, if they drop their next game, because they have to play one more, right? No, they've already got. They'll have 8 games.
So TNC is 3-4 right now, right?
Yeah, and
WG is 4-3, and
yeah,
if WC wins this game, they're 5-3.
Okay,
and that seems good
correct.
enough.
Okay, so yes, if WG win it, they are in, and that's it.
Right.
We have decided, except for perhaps seeding. From there, Sig.Trust, if they win it, then we could be looking at tiebreakers. So
Sure. So
the ones who want to see a long night of Dota, you guys want Sig.Trust to win this one.
you mean Warrior?
For if you want a tiebreakers, you want Sig.Trust to win.
Okay. For the record, I think Warrior is the stronger of the two teams based on how they played. But you know, best of one, as we saw last game.
Yeah, who knows?
Anything could happen.
You might suddenly have a Battle Hunger Axe who dies twice in 2 minutes. It's a pretty hard life. But for right now, at least we're going to be seeing Keeper Light and Axe looking to delay this game. I think that if Sig.Trust are going for a late game plan, maybe a classic Lakel's pickup in like a Morphling or some other late game hero. And Warriors Gaming kind of catching wind of this. Going to pick up the ET to make a lot of those late game agility heroes less efficient overall.
Okay, ET is the third pick. I guess not really countering any hero at the moment per se, but I think he's still one of the most amazing pick. I'm not sure whether you were on the panel with me when I was talking about how this patch, it seems like most of the carry heroes are agility based. Juggernaut, Terrorblade, Drow Ranger. I mean,
yeah.
I guess Luna, name a couple more. And
Slarkin,
ET,
yeah.
Natural Order just wrecks all of them. So, Morphling. Yeah. Kind of good blind pick into the open, even though we're 3 picks in.
Yeah, because you know the Keeper or Axe are going to be looking to go late game, so Lakel's might pick up one of his classics, and a lot of those heroes fall under that category. But wherein Warriors Gaming, they've got a pretty mid-game centric draft, I would say. I mean, Oracle Elder Titan can actually do a lot of good gank plays early with the Fortune's End into Stomp, and then Juggernaut can be a very kill-centric hero. If he goes for the Manta Diffusal build, he can really just focus on getting kills very quickly, and he can purge off the Keeper Light's blind so that he can just kind of stay right on his target.
Yep.
So I think they're going to look to probably push this game out early, at least get a map advantage in the mid game.
To me, though, right now the draft, not only do they have to worry about the tempo of the game, which is what you're mentioning, I think they have to worry about stuns as well. Because look at these cores, right? Unless you bank on an ET landing them stun, like I see them having a lot of trouble dealing against a Slark, a Storm, Ember, any of these very elusive, hard to catch cores. And hopefully they will remedy it by picking up some kind of good lockdown heroes on their carry / offlane position.
Yeah, so I think offlane would have to be the case. I think that's really the only place you're going to get that kind of reliable control from.
So Slardar is the big one that's still in the pool that you see very common. I mean, Faceless Void is technically a hero. You have the ET combo with it.
Oh, yeah, I'd love Void, actually.
But
it's harder to execute with the Juggernaut, but you still get a lot of damage from the ET and the Oracle at the very least.
We don't see Voids anymore.
I mean,
Kangaroo could bring it.
So, looking at all the nerfs you receive, the biggest one, I guess, is going to be that the time dilation. The fact that it will no longer put spells on cooldown if they cast them after dilation is active. Then, of course, he did reduce base damage, I think some survivability or just movement aspects. So he's not as strong, but I think he's still viable when you put him in a really good draft. And this would be a good draft.
Okay. Instead, we're going to go Beastmaster. 2 supports have already been shown by Sig.Trust, so you don't have to worry about like a Shadow Demon or Oracle. Those are the heroes are not here anymore, but they could be taken up by Sig.Trust. Sig.Trust, they do love playing heroes like Omni Knight as well as Abaddon. Boombell's been a big fan of those heroes, but again, both of these supports already.
Like, you can't do that with this draft. You got to Coddle, Axe, Ogre. Like,
you need some hard-hitting cores.
There's no way you fit Omni or Abba into this. Like,
carry Abba, carry Omni.
Okay.
You could fit it in if you really want those heroes.
Carry all the things. Yeah. I don't really feel like it's
No,
going to be
no,
something to look
I hear
at.
you.
And I feel like Lakel's just going to go for his late game pickup that might actually feature a Linked Sphere. So
Morphling?
Morphling is the hero of choice in that capacity, but we'll have to see if it's really up his sleeve this time around. It's definitely a throwback, right? Like he's kind of transitioned to this kind of mid-game fighter. Like I've seen like the Razors and Wraith Kings and other things that are more meta. But I still think that in his heart, Lakel's is that late game powerhouse.
I still like a Slark here, honestly.
Sure.
Necrobooks are going to be annoying, but no, this is like else we're talking about.
So what's the waveform cooldown is actually only 11 seconds. You can nearly cut that in half with the Chakra Magic. It's pretty good.
Okay. You know, that's not what I think about chakra combos, but technically, yes, that is true.
Dude, like, you can just stay on top of a target no matter what. Like, there's no running from a double waveform Morphling.
If you max Battle Hunger. Boom, boom, double Battle Hunger.
All right, sure.
Back to back.
Double Culling Blade, man. So when you whiff it, you can get it in like 69 seconds.
No, you go Axe, right? Once you whiff it, you still get another one.
Yeah, it's fine. Just use it on creeps.
Yeah.
Keep moving.
Actually, if you do that, you could just dunk the same target twice, right? The first one whiffs, but it cools down again real fast.
It's easy. All right. Nuking power, but less they're thinking about the Chakra Magic and more thinking about how these lanes play out. The Morphling is going to have a longer game because Axe and Coddle are going to extend it through Illuminate and just good call initiations if Warriors Gaming get a little bit too antsy in the push department. But in the meantime, we're going to see Alchemist and Meepo band out, and Sig.Trust going to have to wonder what their mid lane is going to be here. Again, a long game. Pretty much guaranteed, but they also have to win some lanes in order to get traction here, and they don't know what their opponent is going to be on mid.
So my pro has been showing a lot of Mirana. I think Sig.Trust has been picking a lot of Mirana overall. I won't say that's one of his strong heroes, but it's not exactly a lane winner, but doesn't usually lose lanes too much anyways. When Ogre roams in, that's a decent gank partner, so I'm defaulting to say that Sig.Trust will pick up Mirana, go for that long game, pick up the eggs, you have a lot of burst damage potential.
I like the idea that it can also leap away from ET sleep.
Sure.
Just there's only a couple of controlling spells here, and if you're able to disentangle yourself from what Oracle and ET bring, you only have to really worry about the roar, and in some cases you'll be happy to tank that for your teammate. So overall, I do like the idea of the Mirana. My pro also has played quite a few strength heroes.
Ooh, that's kind of the other direction here.
Yeah, he's going in your face. So my pro, when he actually first moved over from a team called Everlast Game Filling over to Myth.Trust, he brought a very in-your-face playstyle. He loved to play like Dragonite and Doom mid.
Okay.
Love these very, very offensive heroes that blink, clap, blink, stun, and just go. And I feel like this is going to suit him pretty well on the Ursa. And it just comes down to if the Ogre Magi enables him enough. You get the Bloodlust in the Ursa, and he's able to do so much work. And then Nana, as well as the Beastmaster, are going to look to shut you down.
Yeah, I feel like Warriors Gaming Unity right from the gate, they have a lot of tools, right, to build in. They have the Beastmaster board that's going to be annoying. Never mind the roar. I think if you have two boards in the fight, Ursa's going to have a tough time. Nana with the blind, with the marches. X-Nova could just disarm him and force out the ult. So I'm not sure whether it's an Ursa game, but I don't like Ursa overall as a hero. I think he's very easily shut down. Yeah, I'm an Ursa hater. But obviously, I do recognize the power. Sometimes, 10 minutes in, you could be snowballing so hard that there is nothing Warrior Gaming Unity could do. So we'll see if it's a snowball game or not.
Yeah, I'm curious how he itemizes, because like the BKB can deal with the boar slow and the lasers, but then you're still.
No, you're still slow by the boars, right?
It got nerfed.
Now it doesn't go through BKB.
It does not go through BKB.
All right.
What a hero Beastmaster was. 4 spells that go through BKB. Why not? But now it's got some limitations. Anyways, the Beastmaster, the Ursa is still gonna be, really involved, but like he's got to worry about disarm, blind. Yeah, I feel like BKB is kind of a necessity now. Like you get roared, whatever. Maybe go Ags. We'll see. But he's definitely got to get some kind of dispel or some way to deal with all.
The other day we saw a 4-staff Ursa, so
yeah,
I guess anything is possible. He is going to be going mid. Tangos will be given to him.
I actually love this Morphling build, by the way. Like, obviously the high Agimorph is very common, but this stat line, I've seen it once or twice before, and it's so much.
It's so necessary on the new Morphling where, look at the damage, right? He's on 5 strength, right? 60 damage, which is not exactly anything to be praising.
It's not bad, but considering his short attack range, just short little arms there, it's pretty stubby. Still, like you start off the game with +6 to all stats and 2 tangos. It's so good for this kind of a hero that just needs that to stay involved, and he'll pick up the other items that will solve his mana issues and things along that line. Ogre, I believe, did get this ward down before the smoke broke, so is able to keep good tabs on the Beastmaster. But Beastmaster, Kangaroo, he's just going to be hanging out in the jungle. So it's actually going to be ET playing as a placeholder support in the off lane with that Windlace.
You know, for these situations, I really wish that some of these support players practice jungle. For example, jungle Coddle. I feel like this is the exact situation you can get away with it. You know Beastmaster's jungling. Yes, ET is going to be there as a placeholder, but Morphling with an Ogre help in the first couple levels should be fine. This is a situation where you get, like, I don't know, a 15-minute axe if you actually do it properly.
Yeah, go the RO 2000 round.
Yeah, but, you know, obviously, it does require a lot of practice, and it looks like Boombell is going to be going to the bottom lane. Is he just there to actually lane with Abba?
I mean, it's definitely possible. The Axe can use all the help he could get, and this would enable them to really put some hurt onto both the Oracle and the Juggernaut. Oracle is a really bad laner in the first few levels. Like, level 4, level 5, he really starts kicking in, but the first 2 or 3 levels, he's not doing too much.
Yeah, that 6 base damage nerf on him, oh, that hurt.
Yeah. I mean, but even before that, like, he always needed his spells to combo together to really make an impact. So, those in conjunction makes it so that he's really just poking and prodding here. Ogre is actually going to be gunned down. How does that happen?
Did you see how much plus damage he has?
I don't care. It's an Ogre.
Well, I mean, look, he had Windlace and boots.
Windlace.
No, he had Windlace and boots,
boots.
and spirits from creeps.
I mean, that would have been like...
No, look at the HP of these creeps, right? He spawned it over here.
Yeah.
And he ran it into the creep wave into 2 heroes. He got it back. He was
an Ogre.
No.
I know what you're saying, and I know what happened.
Yeah, but Afu essentially had maximum movement speed and double damage.
But there's no way you can justify it, even with all those factors in consideration.
Maybe no TNT is like, dude, I'm an Ogre. I'm going to trade a couple hits. And
he underestimated it.
Yeah, he totally did.
He, like, manned up against it, and he, like, traded hits with it. And then you realize, oh, wait, my Morphling can't do anything. Oh, my gosh. That should not happen. TNT already starting off in a really weird way.
Yeah, I mean, I think the key word that you said earlier is that the ET was there as a placeholder.
Yeah.
Like, he should be just sapping experience, maybe getting 1 or 2 creep kills. He should not be getting first blood.
Definitely should not have happened, but all the same, we're going to see a pretty interesting start to this game as the teams are now 1-1. And the Kells is going to at least get his guaranteed start. He'll have to hit with the natural order later and maybe pick up an armor item, but in general, this should be a pretty good Morphling game. You were talking about the lack of control. If he gets Lincoln Steel with the Beastmaster Roar, then he's going to be in a pretty good spot.
Sure. I'm actually more concerned about MyPro. Like, he doesn't have the lane advantage. You know, I say that TNT's going to come around. Blind is going to be available. In fact, he's thinking about baiting him in. Yeah, Nana's not even afraid, despite being clapped at very low HP.
Yeah, so Fairy Fire is always the nice thing to have in your back pocket in those tight spots, and you're always going to be fine under tower. So in this position, Ogre realizes he's not going to do enough top, throws a couple ignites back and forth, but is now out of mana and has 1 ignite left available. You really have to have a clarity early, or you're just going to be accomplishing too much.
Do you think TNT's going to be at level 1 5 minutes in like we saw the Ogre last game?
It's possible.
Yeah.
You have those games sometimes, but if he just leeches a little bit, he'll at least have level 2, which with his current mana pool, it's probably looking like it's going to be a point in Bloodlust.
Right. I mean, I think generally it's always a point in Bloodlust.
Yeah, sometimes if you're really looking for a kill on Tinker, you could go for something like the Fire Blast Ignite, where you get just a little bit extra time where he's off the tower. Can do enough damage to cancel out that Fairy Fire as well, but yeah, in general, it's going to be pretty cost effective to get that Bloodlust and just make things a little bit easier across the lanes.
Okay. You know, checking out the bottom lane, Axe is actually doing pretty okay. I mean, Juggernaut's free farming, but you know, Axe also is, so.
Under tower, yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm missing a lot of kills. I guess I kept track of every one of them in that intense 13-minute game, and now I have no idea what's happening. That redefined Dota for me, unfortunately. But so we have had quite a few kills here. With the death of the Ogre Magi, then the ET, and now the Ursa in that mid lane. But Nana just able to nuke him down, and Ursa, again, underestimating his opponent.
Was Tinker picked?
What? It was the last pick in response to Ursa.
Yeah, okay. That makes more sense, because I don't think you pick Ursa into the Tinker.
No way.
Okay,
no
Ursa
way.
Ursa has a haste rune. Like, this could turn the lane around. Ideally, should go for the Beastmaster, but obviously he doesn't have our vision. Going for the Tinker, even with the haste, is going to be hard.
No, he needs help. There's no way. Because the laser will last plenty of time, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's just not going to be enough. I mean, level 5 tips that a little bit more in his favor with that haste turn, and I would start to be a little bit scary if I was Nana, but in the end, it's still not a clear-cut kill.
I'm not Ursa expert, but are you supposed to go 2 points in clap against a range hero?
It really depends if you think you're going to be able to get those laser hits in before he lasers you. If you can get the hits in, of course you want to focus on your Fierce Fight's overpower, but in this case he thinks that there's going to be plenty of times where he is blind and he just needs that damage,
Okay.
and that's slow. So being able to stay on his target for longer despite the blind is probably the key.
Yeah. This for sure will weaken his early Roshan capabilities as well, so... Boots deliver to Ursa, but... I mean, he has one opportunity to make something happen with that haste, but obviously everybody on the side of WG is already aware of that fact. And now Smoke going into the river, Beastmaster level 6. We're only 5.5 minutes in, but this is the time that he generally gets it. Will Kangaroo get off that roar is the question.
Nah, they did scout him. Both teams kind of making their move towards the bottom rune area at that point, and they saw the Hawk as well.
That Hawk barely out of range.
He's so hungry.
Yeah.
He's so hungry. Feed me, please,
That's
master.
the go, dude.
A lot of experience, too.
Yeah.
You can't underrate that.
Oh, here we go. Clap. Level 2 clap. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, and the haste rune just stays on target,
Heroic.
gets barred up, but will it be enough to actually disentangle him from this? 4 stacks
He will
of
get
Furious
disarmed
Sparks
as
already.
well.
Oh, and there's no haste any longer. He's actually in trouble now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Tinker comes in, pow, pow, and that is one dead Ursa. He has to remember, this will purge you, and that means that haste rune is not a god rune.
This is why also you don't pick Ursa. I mean,
This is not an example. This has nothing to do with picking Ursa, and more to do with just not...
I think the mid lane had a big part in that, right? Like the disadvantage matchup that he's got, Ogre not really being able to help.
I would say it's any like right clicker. It's just Tinker is a good counter pick that wasn't banned out.
Yep. Okay, Ursa will port back and...
Oh, look at this stack. Are they going to do the replicant thing? Oh, I bet they are. Is Axe rushing a Vanguard? I bet he is. This is going to be the dream. If this actually comes into play, I'm going to be so happy.
You give Lakel's a farm with
Have you ever seen a Morphling take a quad stack of Ancients? Because I have. I've done it, and I've asked so many pro players to do this. I've coached Shazam. I've asked them to farm the damn Ancients with a Morphling, and I think we're actually going to see it.
Well, you hope so, right?
No, he's going Vanguard, so either the Axe gets it or the Morphling gets it. But the Axe does it. The Morphling does it so much more efficiently.
Well, the thing about Axe getting it, and perhaps I think he should be getting it, is the blink.
But once you get the blink, whatever.
Yeah.
Like if you get Lakel's at Ethereal Blade and in the Lincoln Sphere at like the 20-25 minute mark, who cares what the Axe has?
Right. I agree. Getting Lincoln's Ethereal Blade overall is better, but getting blink right now is more important to the team.
Maybe, but I would always say that
well, let's see, right? We're gonna have to see, but I hope to see that interaction as well, because
it's so sick. Like if you ever test it out, you literally just walk the replicant in, it spins, and you don't care if it dies. And it just gets the kill. It's 100% the same HP and block value as the Vanguard Axe. So it will be able to get the same amount of farm without even risking like a death.
I like the complexity strat a bit more with the Wyvern. You co-embrace it.
Yeah, it's cute. It's cute, but how do you get a quad stack of Ancients for a Morphling? Like, he's never been able to farm that many Ancient creeps until they changed the way that illusion works, or blocks work on illusions. And now, like, Stout Shields, Poor Man's Shields, Vanguards, much more valuable.
All right, is he walking towards that Axe? No, not yet.
Oh, it looks like he's just going to give it to the Axe.
Yeah.
I
think overall this is the right decision, by the way.
I disagree. I am all about that replicant, that easy money for the Morphling.
I also wonder
Suddenly Ethereal Blade.
Whether the Bird has scouted this out, because this would be a contention point here for WG.
Yeah, the Hawk actually sees more than one type of Ancient, so they know it's stacked, but maybe not as stacked as it is.
Right. Regardless, though, they are going to put a lot of pressure on this Tier 1 bottom, and that is going to open up the stack for WG to at least contest or maybe even steal down the line.
So, MyPro continue to do his things, looking for the phase boots. Morphling pushing on the top lane here. No special replicant, just a little ogre helping him push out the lane. And we'll keep tabs on things here on the bottom. That Hawk expires. I'm curious if Abba saw it, but either way.
Is this the build that you actually go for? Just brown boots into Vanguard just to pump it out as soon as possible?
If you get an ancient stack this big from your allies, then yes. It's actually massive. But you see, the Axe is afraid. He can't go into the middle and actually spin on all of them. So he's
okay. To
no
be fair,
HP.
right? To be fair, the Morphling Illusion would have died by now, right?
No. If you put it in dead center, you have nothing to be afraid of. You just put it dead center, it will
except
spin
the
on all
Illusion
of
would
them.
die. Because Axe had to Berserker Call, and he still almost died.
That's why.
Right.
That's why you have Axe and the Replicant do it.
Okay. I don't know.
It depends. There's multiple factors because I have tested this out. There are multiple factors. One, you want Aquila for armor. Two, it relies on RNG a bit. To guarantee that you just clean it out in one fell sweep, you have Axe tank it for a couple seconds, and then you have the Replicant do the rest.
Okay.
Buddy system. Instead, it's stolen.
Oh,
hey, look
no,
at that.
This would be big.
You get...
Okay, Tinker's going to come in as well.
Tinker's on the
Well,
board.
Aji is dropping pretty low as well. I'm not sure whether they can completely steal the Abba coming through. The Stomp's going to hit on multiple hero. Keep in mind the March does not hurt the Ancients.
Dead Morphling. He TP's in with no strength and just gets nuked down by Nana. They're going to be able to clean up the Ancients, but in the meantime, he gets roared up and is taking a lot of damage here. Aji doesn't get dunked. Instead, they're going to be able to kill them all.
All right, this is not... Oh, okay, Hoken, my bad. My pro? Is he going to do something? No, the Clap gets 2, he gets 1, and now he's going to punch down Boom Bell as well. Fu!
I can't... He didn't miss the Nado. He's going to give it to the Tinker, but...
Nice.
That's a triple kill for Nana, and Fu playing a hell of an Elder Titan.
Is this game over?
Not necessarily,
okay,
but...
No, let me stack it up against Sig.Trust, right? Ursa got wrecked. Ursa's not a hero that can get wrecked early and make a recovery. Your Vanguard Brown Boots Axe needed that stack for his Tranquils and Blink. He did not get it. Or at least most of it. And Tinker just got a triple kill. Like,
Tinker did just get a triple kill.
Sell me this game. How Sig.Trust makes a comeback here.
I think of all those things, the Tinker triple kill stands out by far. Like, yes, Ursula is going to have a bad lane against Tinker. Whoop-de-doo. Yes, the Axis Ancients got contested because unless you're doing my Morphling strat.
Your Morphling strat, okay.
It's just too unreliable.
Right.
Seriously, you could take that shit in like 20 seconds.
No
issue, and the Axe is nearly full HP.
The Morphling Illusion would also die, but again,
again, if you double up, you're fine. You're fine.
Well, what is not fine right now, Sig.Trust? They're going to walk into the Roche pit with full vision being granted by the Hawk. All right, this is like the last hurrah.
And with the ET involved, like this is actually over already. There's no way they can fight this.
Oh, he's in there.
He's suicidal, is what he is.
Okay, everybody slept.
He doesn't have a TP scroll. Like, he's going to die to the Tinker!
Oh my god, he's going to try to run away. He will juke the corner. 80% resistant. Pretty good on my pro. He's going to be fine. Meanwhile, in fact, they're going to turn it around. On the back line, the Laser Rocket has taken 1 kill. Meanwhile, Abba dunks for another. So,
and meanwhile, there's 2 heroes pushing up top the whole time. They only had to bring the Tinker. He gets 2 waves of missiles out, kills the Ursa, and goes on his merry way. They trade an Ursa for an ET to prevent Roche and not just take the top lane, but the top tier 2. Oh boy, Lumi, these games have just gone out of control so quickly.
I mean, C region, right? The region of stomps. That's what we've seen in both games. Looks like Beastmaster Roar happening on the top lane here. Abba. Ooh, he's somewhat afraid to go in.
Yeah, it's still a tanky axe.
Yeah.
He may have no mobility, but you
got
you don't mess with him.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this game though is starting to spiral out of control. Kells desperately needs that Liquid Sphere and desperately needs to make use of it. And now you already have a way to pop the Linkets. You have a Necro 1 up for Kangaroo.
I mean, they always had Purifying Flames as well.
Well, yeah, but this is a good way to pop the Linkens. You just mana burn.
Yeah. All right, Ursa's back in, guys.
All right.
Can we get Aegis?
Is this a game where you just go to the pit every time you respawn? Is that like the chain feed Ursa that gets really frustrating on tilt in your pubs, and he just goes into the pit,
looks
dies,
like he's gonna get away with this.
Dies. No, they leave him to his own devices this time. You can't keep watch on it 24/7. But in the meantime, Tinker got a kill on the Caudal. Juggernaut is about to get a Battle Fury. Man, this is very lopsided indeed.
And this is actually one of the few games that you still see a Juggernaut go for a straight Battle Fury. Normally you see the Yasha first. Maybe even a full Manta, but this game they are so far ahead that they could do whatever. I say that though, Kangaroo in the mid lane, is he going to get called? No, the Boar's giving him enough movement speed to cross the distance between Abba. Tower is going to go down to Radiant again. So now Radiant is up 3 tower to 0 over Sig.Trust. And this net worth graph, whew, 5k advantage in 50 minutes.
Not as impressive as the last one, but nevertheless.
Well, last one the game was over by now.
It's true.
Yeah.
What happens when you ancient explode? You get infinite net worth advantage? Is that what we're
I think so. You get net worth advantage to start into your next game as well.
I want to talk about so many things, but what about this Elder Titan? Man, Afu is able to get first blood on the top lane, gets a critical stomp at the ancient engagement, and is about to pick up
Lotus, I think? Is that what he's getting?
Lotus, Lincoln, something to deal with the single target spells, and from there.
No, seriously, what is he getting?
Because it's got to be a Lincoln's, right? It's not a Battle Fury.
I would think Yule's would be super good, right?
Morphling actually going to be nuked down too quickly. Yep. Natural Order also coming into play, and that is going to be...
Yeah, that's the key thing of Afu doing well. He gets like full Natural Order 15 minutes in. That's not something you count on as a support player, but hey, man, when it happens, it happens.
Yeah, and that's just a dead Morphling again because Lincoln's isn't online yet. Axe gets the Blink Dagger, but is it the game changer you were hoping it to be?
It has to be, right? Like, they have to connect like 3-4 ganks in a row. Maybe you start it with the Tinker because he has a big streak. You give it to Morphling or somebody. Give it to the Axe. Because I don't know how they make the comeback without, you know, getting 4 or 5 kills in succession.
Really weird item for Elder Titan to rush. Like, I'd almost be the guy to buy Midas in this situation, you know?
Or Yule's. Yule's is so good against Ursa.
It is. It really is. That's not bad at all. Even against Axe. You see the Axe about to jump in, you precast it?
Yeah.
Really good. And then the movement speed really helps you out as well.
Oh, the dude needs mana regen, which this build does give it to him as well. But
yeah, but I don't know. I'm not sold on the Lincoln Lotus idea either.
Yeah, maybe he's Battlefield. Who knows?
Dude.
He's going to be hitting some creeps.
That's the super Midas, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we have control both jungles. Well, let me just go ahead, stretch my arms, become a carry.
Okay, well, we're getting some minutes of calm. The net worth graph does show all 3 cores of WG is ahead. And I don't think WG has any, like, a fragile lead. It's not like you kill Tinker once. Sig.Trust is right back. But, I don't know. Okay, mid lane. Abla's there.
Should be a jump on the Juggernaut here, but he's got the ulti right behind him, and it's going to at least delay the kill. And it looks like he's actually fine.
Yep.
He's got the Healing Ward. He's got Purifying Flames.
4 HP after the false promise. Look at this arm. Ursa
Beautiful timing, actually.
Roar from the low ground to high ground. Oh, he's dead. That's Aegis.
Look at all the damage coming in between the ET and the Tinker combined together. This magical nuke damage is just insane. Abba going to try to TPE, and the Purifying Flames will seal his fate. Oh my. That's going to be 3 kills easy, and they were the ones initiating from smoke. That's and an Aegis. the Roshan completely marginalized once again.
Even though that seems terrible for Sig.Trust, they had to take that fight. Even though it was in front of tower, even though they had no vision of Oracle. I think when you're this far behind, you just take the very risky fights and hopefully you get lucky.
Yeah.
But they didn't, so...
And I gotta say, X-Nova, like, just a champ. That disarm was such a perfect timing right after the enrage. And then they gave him a laser on top of that. You're just like, you're getting nothing, man. Absolutely nothing. Ajit suddenly has a Yasha on top of his Battle Fury. Tinker, Ether, Blink, BOTs, and rapidly approaching that Aghanim Scepter. And, I mean, Necro 3 already online. Yep. What more do you need?
Just to remind the viewers, if if WG wins this game, they are qualified for day 2. So that's a big win. And remember, they were the open qualifier team. Lakel's being banged down on the top lane. And I do believe Sig.Trust as well as TNC is out after that.
If this win comes through, yes.
Right.
Otherwise, they're like tie-breaking.
A lot on the line here.
What a painful loss for Sig.Trust or for TNC in the last one. Going down to Fnatic like that. Alpha essentially won level 1 fight.
Yep.
And now in this desperate position.
Gonna get killed? No.
We're praying that Sig.Trust can bring this back somehow. Praying for Lakel's Morphling, as I have many times in the past.
I mean, Lakel's Morphling's about to hit Lincoln's. Oh no, he's got Lincoln's.
Yeah,
and 1k go. Okay.
Oh, and that's just a dead axe. Oh, it gets a blink away.
Okay.
Hawk Vision still very strong. Tinker, not even just examining the Ursa pick, Tinker's so good this game. You have your Hawk to give you a jump. You have the Astral Spirit to BOT to. You have the enhanced damage from the Natural Order. Like, you have so many great synergy heroes that just allow you to go crazy.
Yeah. I think this game also showcased the power of the Beastmaster, the Hawk, the Vision, the Found, remember the stack?
Really good.
You know, seeing every Roche opportunity, and of course, all the ganks that he set up. He's got Neko 3, so the push is going to be online. I'm not sure if WG wants to go high ground yet. because you are pushing into...
No, his laser is on cooldown. He gets stunned out. He doesn't have a blink unless he rearms it very quickly. And
he does!
Does not get caught in the call. He can blink away. Instead, he's baiting them further, dropping more magical damage while their base is being taken. They have to all TP back. Roar comes out on Ursa. There's going to be an Omni Slash to bring him down, and a buyback is going to be necessary. Where have I seen this one before? We see Abba taunting out the Elder Titan a little bit too far forward here, but it's tanky enough for him to just kind of shrug that off.
There's just no damage on Sig.Trust. Like, Ursa's supposed to be the damage at this stage again, but the sleep hits on Lakelz. Lakelz going to be dead, so he also needs to buy back to save his base. Tier 3 is going to go down, so no more Bloodlust to tower. Nina's actually in the Raxus. In fact, he doesn't care. He's in the Tier 4s.
Bloodlust to Tier 4s, and still he'll swagger on them.
Okay, Bloodlust to Tier 4s.
Well, like 8 tower shots rain down upon him. Hellfire incarnate, but they didn't buy back on the Ursa. They lose the lane of Rex.
Honestly, I think even if he bought back on the Ursa, he was not holding.
I know, but at least you have like this little debuff that says that you tried. It's like a little medal that you wave.
Is that the badge of honors? The
badge
A for effort.
Badge of I spent my gold for this. Yeah. I spent my gold to have a front row seat at the destruction of my base. It's it's probably the wrong call. My pro without a blink dagger is feeling pretty weak, but at this point you're one lane of racks down. 20-minute game. Morphling has to be like half strength at this point because the natural order damage is so high that you're getting nuked down every fight.
Another reason why ET is an amazing hero.
Well, yeah, and they picked up like I said, they picked up the ET before the Morphling because they expected one of those scaling range agi carries to come out in this kind of a draft.
Yeah.
So really good preemptive decision to go for the ET, and Afu has played it beyond any expectation.
Yeah, I think maybe more so to TNT's mistake. Lakel's waveforming away, and it's just an army chasing after him. Tinker's there. Ajit is there. Speaking of Ajit, it's got the Mantis out next to his Battle Fairy, and mid lane will now be sieged.
Indeed. Kakado will try to do what he can to hold it, but any of these heroes can be picked off so quickly. There's no blink on the Juggernaut, so they're not going to be diving.
Defenders, look at these marches.
It's all in your base. Killing your dudes. Your base belongs to us at this point. I don't really know what else to say. That level 4 Bloodlust doesn't do enough, and that's going to be the melee racks most likely going down as well. On the back line, there is blue. It's going to be the Elder Titan pursuit. One jump! There's going to be a wave from across. One dunk comes through, but is there more? My pro comes in with double damage, immediately gets disarmed, and they're looking for kills on anybody. So hungry, so desperate for something to turn things around. It's going to be Lakel's nuking down on Afu while Tinker actually blows up the axe on the east.
Oh, Afu with the jukes! He's not going to stop it! He's going to, well, maybe TP out. No, he's stuck! Ogre's too fat! Meanwhile, Kangaroo trying to cut him out. Okay, they actually kill down the Ogre. Afu, he's got a full pipe, so he's regenerating through all of this. Kangaroo's trying to run away. It looks like he will go down. Raxus are saved. 3 for 2 trade. Still a deficit, but I'm sure the gold graph will bounce back a little bit because of the rubber band effect. But Sig.Trust are still deep in the woods.
Yeah, I mean, that is a massive influx of gold at this stage in the game. That is going to be a 3,200 gold swing.
That was a 3K fire. What? Okay.
But at the same time, like, you're in such a bad position that it's all you can ask for at this point. And now the Tinker has Axe.
All right. I think that's the nail on the coffin, dude.
The last nail. There've been a lot of nails hammered, but that's the one seems to be the one to keep that coffin closed for good. It's Halloween, but there are not going to be any vampires coming out tonight.
Okay, how about this? Lakel's gets a random kill in the next engagement, whatever.
How about this?
He gets shotgun, right?
How about this? Lakel's gets a quad stack of Ancients. How about that? That sounds pretty good.
No,
huh?
He wouldn't been able to take it. The axe was dying.
2 axes. 2 axes. All right. I'm done. At this point, Ajit is about to pick up the Aegis the Immortal. Tinker is just going to be able to play the backline really well, unless Axe gets another miraculous 4-man Berserker's Call.
I don't think that's enough. They need a 4-man call into Illuminate. Like, last time we saw a 4-man call, and then what, right? Like, nothing actually happened.
Waveform dunk, they got 1.
Yeah.
I mean, that's at least that ensued chaos. Like, that allowed them to scatter their opposition. What kill was happening left and right is even hard to keep track of. But it made it so the fight isn't so clear-cut, where ET and Tinker just prevail automatically.
Okay. Like, well, I guess also if Abba gets a Blade Mail before the next 4-man call, right? That would be pretty good.
Yeah. Not bad at all. But we'll see them actually go for the smoke. He does get the blade mail, and he's delivering it out now. So,
well, trying to smoke against the Beastmaster team is going to be hard, but they got to do it. They got to find a way.
yeah, they have this observer ward on the dire side. They know where their enemy is, but let's see if they can actually close the distance quickly enough and find the right target. The Oracle can save anybody here.
Everybody. See the Beastmaster.
Beastmaster's going to be the jump, but Blink dodges the call! Now there's going to be the blade mail, but what's it really accomplishing?
Oh, no.
They lose out 3 heroes instantly, and while Nana takes a lot of blade mail damage, they have to buy back, they have to get back into this fight, and the initiation is completely thwarted. Even if they got that call, you know he's just going to get false promised, but instead it's just going to be the Hellfire missiles coming out, the heat-seeking across for 4 heroes.
I mean, ideally they get the call and kill him so fast that, you know, before the X-Nova can react, but that's no longer the case.
That is nowhere near the case, as 4 racks are now deconstructed, and WG.Unity are 1 lane of racks away from punching their ticket to the playoffs of the Boston Major Southeastern Asian Qualifier.
I mean, it hasn't been a good row here for WG, but they had some competitive games, right? So it's a quote-unquote brand new bracket of the tournament, so you could do whatever till tomorrow.
All right, we're going to see Abba go for 1 more attempt. Blade Mail will be a bit annoying for the Tinker, but he's going to be perfectly fine in the fountain, healing up through all that business. In the meantime, Ajit going to be able to spin on the tower, take that tier 3, and Tinker, he's back in. Boom Bell goes down. Abba keeps his blink on cooldown, and My Pro just cries himself to sleep.
This is why you don't pick Ursa.
Shut up. That is not the reason you don't pick Ursa.
Look, you pick Ursa, you get 28-7.
28-7 every game.
Every game.
I think Valve agrees with the stats on that one, and there's a pause coming out from Afu that many will be uncertain of.
Yeah.
He played a hell of a game, though. That Elder Titan performance was actually marvelous. Like, people will look at the shinies action of the Tinker because it's just so flashy, but it was really enabled by heroes like the Beastmaster and the
ET and BM. They were the MVPs for the game, and can't add more to that game. Honestly, there wasn't much strategic decision. I think we had a good argument between whether Morphling or Axe should take it. I still stand with the Axe decision of taking it, but neither of them ever got it, so it doesn't matter. And
exactly. The wrong decision was for Warriors Gaming to be handed half of it. That's not the way. You have the situation where there's a baby and you split it in 2 to satisfy both the people. It's like a parable or something.
All right, I don't even know what you're on right now. But
okay, well,
the game coming up next we have is, I believe, TNC versus Sig.Trust.
So it is would have been an extremely consequential game. In fact, the most consequential game of these playoffs, if not for this result. But with Warriors Gaming taking it, it is just going to be a test of pride and a test of what could have been. But that is going to be the conclusion here of Warriors Gaming Unity winning out over Sig.Trust 28-7 in a 26-minute bloodbath. And that is going to be deciding the qualifier slots of Mineski, Faceless, Fnatic, and Warriors Gaming Unity in no particular order. That's going to be starting up tomorrow. And with that in mind, we're going to be signing off for this game and bringing you guys 1 more game to close out the Southeastern Asian qualifiers for the Boston Major here. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, I am Blaze at BlazeCasting alongside Luminous at Luminous Inverse. And we're going to be out for the moment. Thanks for tuning in.